welcome to Construction Business News Middle East. We are here at Cityscape Global 2025, which is your one-stop shop to know what Saudi Arabia has for the future. So without any further ado, join us on our journey to explore what's happening more. Thank you, Abdallah, for joining us here at Cityscape Global. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Before we start into you joining us here and your role, your company's role here, can you walk us through what Madinet Masr is doing and a little bit of history about the company, please?
Sure. It's always a sweet part in my heart to talk about Madinet Masr's history and heritage. I always say it's a privilege and honor that I'm leading this very old and impactful company in Egyptian urban scene, in the Egyptian urban scene. So again, it's a company that's been around for almost 70 years, since 1959 now, 67 years to be exact. It's built one of the biggest to date neighborhoods in Cairo, again, the capital of Egypt. Again, one of the nice things about Madinet Masr, it's been able to cope with the changes since 1959 to date, to be one of the modern developers of the modern urban scene in Egypt right now, developing in modern projects all over Egypt today. So again, I'm very proud that we're now taking a step that's a milestone after 67 years of developing in Egypt and moving into the Saudi market.
Lovely. When you talk about developments, can you talk about one or two projects,
Yes.
your new projects in Egypt?
Sure.
With us, please.
So again, the most popular historical one is called Nasser City. This is actually an 80 million square meter city.
Okay.
That actually hosts around 3 million, a population of 3 million people now. So this is the historical part, and it's impressive. Modern projects, we have a very famous one called Taj City, around 3.5 million square meters in New Cairo. A similar one, 5.5 million square meters on a popular road in Egypt called Suez Road, right next to the new capital actually. Two new plots that we just acquired last year actually, and we launched this year in 2025. One of them is called Butterfly in Future City. It's a new development, master development in Egypt. And then a project called Talala in a new Heliopolis city. So again, quite a diversity. All of them are quite substantial developments. All of them are mixed-use developments, of course, with a focus on the residential component, but then all of them specifically something like Taj City that's already has more than 3,000 families living. We have a school over there. We have shopping facilities and administrative offices. We're working on a medical facility over there. So it's quite a comprehensive development. And again, we try to repeat this wherever we go. Yes.
Lovely. And what does this big or massive Egyptian developer brings to Cityscape in Saudi?
Yes. So again, I always say Saudi Arabia is a natural progression to Egyptian development. Again, these two countries have very strong ties on the cultural level, on the spiritual level, on the economical level, the people, everything. A lot of Egyptians and Saudis are married into each other, so there is so much connection between these two countries. A lot of Egyptians are living in Saudi Arabia and working here, so it only makes sense for a company of our size and our history, for its first move outside the Egyptian market is to go to the Saudi market. And again, everyone knows what's going on in the Saudi market, the vision, what's going on the ground. The whole world is talking about the development that's going on in Saudi. So it only makes sense that a company like Madinet Masr, with all its history, to be part of this vision and this massive development that's going on here. Yes.
Lovely. You know, one thing I think which in the past few minutes that we've been talking about, you've emphasized on culture and heritage.
Yes.
How important that is for Madinet Masr, and how is that going to be embedded with the new partnerships that you have aligned here in Saudi?
I think this is actually a very important question, because I think on a global level, part of authenticity and culture and going back to your roots, I think it's a big thing now. With everything going on in the world, AI, technology, and everything that's changing around us, people are going back to more than ever to their roots and their culture, and they're very proud of it. They're trying to embed it in everything in their lives, let alone, of course, architecture and housing and residential communities and all that stuff. And again, if we talk about Egypt and Saudi Arabia, we have so much to tell. There is so much history, so much heritage, so much stories to tell, so much to reflect in our architecture and in our living habits and all that stuff. I think this is going to be part of the secret sauce of the new company that we're setting up here with our Saudi partner, Wahij Real Estate, is that everyone is putting everything they've learned from their culture and their market into one pot, and we think we're going to come up with something very unique. Yes.
So this new company that you just mentioned, can you give us a little bit more insights on what this company is going to be?
Yes.
What are there any certain projects that are in the pipeline, or
Sure.
what's the vision for the company?
Yes, the company is called Citydome.
Okay.
Again, it's actually a merge between, we're called Madinet Masr. Madinet means city.
Yeah.
So we took a part of our name, and the second part of it is Dom, which is the second half of the word kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it symbolizes again the merge that's happening between an Egyptian and an old Egyptian company, and venturing into the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So Citydome, again, I think the key word in its vision and why we think it's going to be unique is again how comprehensive the projects we're looking at. We don't want to just build houses, and again, anyone can do this. We want to build communities that have everything that, again, everyone is talking about human-centric communities and transforming even old cities into sustainable and green cities and all that stuff. This is at the core of our vision of what we want to do. We want to build communities, even if small ones, but they're comprehensive. You don't need to go travel with your car like 40 minutes or something for a necessity or something. Everything is within the boundaries of your communities. Again, it's a sustainable community. It's a healthy, human-centric community where everyone is really enjoying their life, because we live in a time where everything is fast-paced, everything is re-questioned. Again, a lot of things about what humanity means and everything is being questioned. So building human-centric communities, I think, is at the core of what we're going to do.
You know, I think it's just not you. I think whoever I've met here, one thing that a lot of people are really emphasizing is community living, which I personally feel is the future of real estate, future of living. If you had to describe community living in 3 words, what would that be? And if you had to explain that in terms of the new venture that is going to be coming, 3 words, that's it.
I would say the pedestals, or at the core of community living, is again the people themselves. I always use the term like-minded people again. And again, when you design something unique, you attract like-minded people. So this is what we're trying to do, get like-minded people, because again, the most important thing about community building is the harmony between the people itself. So part of it is the people and how you attract like-minded people. A big part of it we already talked about is again, the availability and the accessibility of the basic necessities and services that make life better. And of course, another one is the location itself of the project itself, and it all starts with design. So there are so many things we can talk about. We can talk about how design starts from the beginning, thinking about human centricity and the livability aspects of this compound. And it all boils down to what we started with, that you will attract, if you do it right, like-minded people, which will build a very healthy community.
Lovely. I think you've summed up everything in a nutshell. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and sharing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. And we're really excited about venturing into the Saudi market.